Hello, hello, hello. Well, to whoever is joining me, friends or friends, just coming on for some authentic expression and sharing with whoever is joining me. I woke up this morning at like 4 something. I don't know exactly what the minutes were, I suppose, but my awareness often wakes me at that time, auspicious time, and just have the practice of doing my meditation or of, just like the invitation of what's here in this moment in my awareness, what's waking me up and wanting to be seen, processed, sat with. So yeah, it's been a typical morning, I suppose, and as I am being called to share and express more authentically and just showing up in life, and often in those morning times my practices have been to journal and to just sit with what's coming up, and I feel deeply called to share. So with that, I was feeling called to come on and share a few different things that just felt significant to be expressed from my heart. And so with that, I have a deep thinker, just ponderer about the depths of life. Rumi is one of my favorites, and there's just so many. On union, that might be the one. I was gonna say there's so many things that make me just sit and ponder. So with that, I feel like there might be a message in this to union. But let me see here. What's all wanting to be expressed and how? Let me just sit with, okay. So one of the things I wanted to share for sure is a poem that I absolutely love. And it is called The Invitation. So with that, I will read. It is by Orion Mountain Dreamer. And it speaks so deeply to, kind of what percolates underneath this deep thinker, feeler, desire of love and of life, and of the ideas of what life's all about. That was what I sat with this morning in my journaling here, is what's it all for, this life? It's oftentimes what I sit with, and this experience. And as a deep thinker, as I said, I'm also a deep feeler, and wondering, like, what did I come here for? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? Why? At the end of the day, that Christ consciousness, right? That Jesus died on the cross to bear what? What do we bear? What are we here to bear? Why are we bearing it? Is it not the experience? And oftentimes when I think, what's it all for? And it's like, love, right? Or so we say, but yet there's that separation, right? There's that love, and when it doesn't feel like that, what is it? Sitting with all of those ideas, really feeling the spectrum of them. I have often, it always comes up every time, like, what did I come here for? I'm like, oh, I want to, here's the answer. The invitation. And I may cry and feel this deeply because that's what I do, and that's what I want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so it is. The Invitation by Orion Mountain Dreamer. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow. If you've been opened by life's betrayals, or have you become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain? I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine, your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own. If you can dance with the wildness. Oh. And let ecstasy fill you from the tips of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful. Be realistic. To remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you're telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. If you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. if you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty, even when it's not pretty every day. And if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure. Yours, mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon. Yes, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after a night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me what or where or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. Because my friend, the end of life when you are looking in the eyes of the end, the real end. What are you looking onto from someone who has witnessed, sat with, had the privilege of experiencing as you let go of every inch of this human life? And you have to be able to let it go. What's there? What are you looking onto? What in this life is your final story? When it all fades away, and the light dims, the switch goes off, and you're everything. And no longer one thing. So, that is what I came to live in this life, to experience what I ache for, the adventure of being alive, and the depth of sitting each day with that full spectrum of humanness to experience and be with and love, inspire. My experience. Always wrestling with, right, the full spectrum. The full spectrum. That's what I'm always like wrestling with every time I sit down. And a story that I often go back to after my dad died, it really made sense, was someone said to me, you can't truly know the depths of love, right? What am I here for? Love, the full spectrum, this being with and embodying and loving my full self, the full spectrum, all aspects of me, right? The light, the dark, the good, the bad, the one that advocates, the one that's passionate, the one that's misunderstood, all of it. The experience, the separation, to the oneness of having a child within you, and that experience of disconnecting from it, separating. Yet this union, right? This, as a deep feeler, as an intuitive, as a mystic, as a shaman, as a all the labels I just love about myself. All just little fractals, little pieces and parts. So to be separate yet one thing, right? To experience this life is to truly have that separation, union, that interconnectedness that tethers all and weaves all of life together. All these separate parts, so divinely orchestrated. So the experience of life actually requires the separation and the union, polarities and dualities, and the difference is the point, right? I still go to, why fight about it? Why argue? Why hatred? Why judgment? Do we have to feel the bad to feel the good? Was that a story we were just told? In the spectrum of feeling, the stream of consciousness, right? The stream of awareness, these ones and zeros, that data stream, the pendulum, right? That pendulum swing of all, like, to going all the way around. It's, it's like, where is that neutrality, that nothingness, that absolute void? And everything else exists around it. Potential. That's the other thing I wrestle with. The potential, right? Where do we limit that potential? Do we have to in that way? Are there better ways? Can we experience the sweetness of life without labeling the other as bad? That's what I'm going to keep working to redefine bad, wrong. In this life, pain, loss, betrayal, are those experiences we have to have? Impermanence, yes. Change, yes. But do we have to call it losing something or having pain? Where did that idea come from? And do we have to keep it? Do we have to keep it? When I let go, does it have to be painful? It's simply just a change, like an inhale and an exhale, an evolution, an expansion. With energy doesn't die, it only changes its form. It only transforms. This life, this experience, this energetic experience, this conscious energy of aliveness, this inhale, receiving, exhale, expressing, giving. This energy, this life force, expressed and experienced. Received, experienced, expressed, experienced. Just experiences. We're labeling, we're defining, we're choosing when we feel. The story we tell in that mind's awareness. So many stories. So many. So many. And then the mirror, like, their story, their story. So many. What are you going to agree to? What are you going to agree to? Yeah. So much to ponder. This deep thinker, this feeler, this lover, this desire of life, the adventure of being alive. And so, all right, I brought in my Rumi book for a reason. And the idea was to pull it open and see. And those ponderings, so what I sat with this morning and processing and just coming to like the depths, the adventures of being alive as I set the intention for my day, right? It wakes me up, says, hey, there's things here. Dreamland's over and now we're calling you awake. We have these things to experience in your awareness. And as I set the stage for the day when I, go out to experience life with others, and as I want to experience this day, setting the intentions of what's empowering and what's disempowering, right? All these stories that we tell, all these ideas, what are they contributing to in our day? So I like to look to things that uplift and empower and take something with me that's like this little seed that I want to plant. Because at the end of the day, this experience is from my inner world. This heaven on earth I choose to create within because I want that experience. And when something comes in that says, this isn't heaven on earth, I get to be with that. And how I choose to do that is my way to align and choose with intention, with conscious choice. What unfolds, how I experience in that inner world, those stories, those perceptions, all there to come up, be seen, witnessed, experienced, and either unconsciously or consciously chosen how to respond, expressed. So, with that, choosing to follow my awareness and the guidance to bring in my Rumi book and open it up, see what's there. And this is what I giggled about before. 11, number 11, very significant number for me. I love it when the universe winks at me. And its message in number 11 is union. And how significant, because the number 11 does align to union for me. And from there, we'll see what it says. It says, gnats inside the wind. And I love that because as I guide often, and in my practices, one of the things I've often will do is say, as you breathe in, fill up your body, your vessel, receive, this breath of life. And as you exhale, imagine that you're blowing the mind's thoughts away in the wind, like bugs in the wind, like clouds in the sky. Just blow them away, right? Get that mind, that monkey mind that is out here in our conditioned world to protect us, to punish us, or to get us to reprioritize something. That is what the fight or flight mind does. And so blowing those mind's thoughts away, as we do that, we, in our awareness, always is a stream of consciousness streaming, or it's blank. And the goal, right? Let's clear and get it to that blank screen. If we can't, that's okay. It's a practice. And it's not a constant. We don't want to be in that void forever. We want to experience life. So when the thoughts come through, we are the conscious observer. We're the witness of the awareness that's flowing through our mind. And we can see when the mind, the monkey mind's like, well, I'm over here, right? These two, I grew up in Catholic world with the devil and the angel. Which one are you going to listen to? I'm not sure that story serves a lot. I don't necessarily, yes, the devil, let's get into some of that, looking up the depths of Lucifer. At the end of the day, if we believe in the one God, it's all creation, right? So this two perspectives, right? This fight or flight, like what do I need to do to protect, to punish, like, at the end of the day, keep you alive, because we've been conditioned in this world that we'll go on to that in different stories sometimes if you want to unpack it for yourself. But all of these conditions that have taught us of right and wrong, or good or bad, I am asking that we relook at from this other perspective, right? Let's quiet this little mind. blow the mind's thoughts away and open to a bigger view, a broader perspective, that true limitless awareness that's flowing, that innovators, those, Einsteins, that there's so much more in the stream of consciousness that's available to us if we tune into it, if we're not limiting ourselves. So let's see what the rest of this has to say, because that's where my mind goes when I see 11 in union, and that's inside the wind. So on union, there's a great feminine wisdom. The breath in, receiving. Feminine wisdom we all have available to us in these poems. A gemal quality as opposed to, I don't know this word. Hold on. I gotta look it up. This is why I love myself some Rumi. It requires me to expand what I know today to something more. No. What's this different spelling? It is a Persian word though, so this does look right. Oh yeah. So, it's the masculine name of Arabic and Persian origin, the greatness. I love that. It's bringing in the masculine and feminine. This is a beautiful, beautiful synchronistic read for us. Okay, so the roots of what I work in and where I go when it comes to our conscious awareness is this ever-flowing stream of consciousness, right? And the connection even to data streams. I'm an IT girl. So ones and zeros, right? And that inhale, that exhale, that and on sacred geometry is when I meditate, I just swim in it and I can see the math and I can see the connection. So this is where I geek out on it. But ultimately, when it comes to, and I often go to energy and electricity because my dad was an electrician. And after he passed away, it channels to me in those terms. I've never studied energy or electricity formally. Now I do because of things that I'm shown. But at the end of the day, I simplify it. So two forces, right? A positive and a negative force. And when you look at the masculine and feminine energies, which we all have, that animating force of life within us, that breath, that prana, that chi, right? Look at all the traditions and what they call it, that feminine and masculine aspect within us, which we've been suppressed, repressed, told stories around that do not make sense. They just separate us. Anyways, I can go on many tangents, but I won't. And at the end of the day, let's see what Rumi has to say. There is a great feminine receiving, in my opinion, wisdom in these poems. So receive. A gemal quality as opposed to Jalil. I want to look up Jamal. Okay, hold on. We're on a little discovery here together, my friends, today. So Jamal quality. I suppose I could have ChatGPT'd it, but similar thing of just a more advanced search engine. Jamal quality is a widely recognized phrase, an English term. Two things. Jamal. Oh, okay. So this is the Arabic one. This is what. So Rumi is a Sufi philosopher and poet. So Jamal would be means beauty and grace. So there is a great feminine wisdom or receiving in these poems. a gemal, or a beautiful and graceful quality, as opposed to Jalil, which Jalil, if we go back and look at the meaning of that, was, and this is very interesting, oops, which is the masculine meaning for greatness or glory. So the inhale, the feminine wisdom in these poems, a graceful quality of mass, as opposed to the masculine greatness or glory. That's interesting, significant, right? What we've been told and fed about the patriotism and the patriotism. Anyways, like the man's aspect on how humanity is unfolded. It's such a big thing that everyone's talking about, right? But if we truly have both of those aspects within us, the inhale and the feminine receiving and the masculine greatness and glory, if we look at what this Arabic terms, it's, those two aspects. As opposed, though, I'm sitting with that opposition, right? Yes, they're opposed. They oppose each other, but they're not opposed. They have to coexist, right? The two forces together, the aliveness of life, right, requires the opposition, the opposite. To magnets, the attraction, right? So let's go there. And that's often where I go, is the magnetism. So let's get out of this. There's a great feminine wisdom in these poems, a Jamal quality as opposed to Jalil. Many of the images of what it's like to be in union have this tone to them. A baby at a mother's breast, a river moving inside the personal fish, taking it to the ocean. Sorry, my eyes are kind of adjusting here. Gnats lost in the wind, a dead donkey that has completely melded with a salt flat. Ooh, yeah. The archery companion who lets the arrow fall where he stands. These are not heroic questioning images. What is it to praise? Be particles. How ironic we're reading this, right? During a night of tornado wind and lightning, hello, my lightning friends. And lightning everywhere, weather is north. Georgia, a friend murmured. Why did I say murdered? Curious. Where do hummingbirds go in this? Oh, there's a lot here for me. Sorry, I'm taking it in little pieces because it's very synchronistic it's a message, right? Like this is how alignment time goes, right? You tune in, you get woken up by an idea, a thought, a message, something that piques your attention, right? In that void, that blackness, that spark of life. If you've ever watched, there's some videos of creation of life now when the sperm enters in the egg. It's been now studied so often because of in vitro, all the things, that we have imagery. When that happens, there's a spark of life, right? An idea. From the void of nothing, like the seed planted in the earth, right? It bursts knowing exactly what it is. That lightning bolt of creation, that spark of life, right? So when we get that, and something comes to us, it's an invitation for an adventure of something. To meet it, to observe it, to witness it. We're so in the external world that we've been conditioned, like, who's right, who's wrong, what's good, what's bad. What are we even talking about? What's the story we're trying to tell? When you ask for data, what do you want it for and why? Who are you working with to get it? Are you working together or separate? For what cause? Have you even talked about it? Do you even know? When you sit down and have those conversations, how are you sitting on the other end? What's animating through that mind? We're all leaders. We're all followers. How do we lead? How do we follow? The dance of life, right? I love that song. The life's a dance. We learn as we go. Sometimes we lead, sometimes we follow. I wish I could sing this to you right now, because what I really want to do is to do that. And someday I'll feel brave enough, but my heart is like saying, no, 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 you want to sing, but no, 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 no. What will they think? This is what animates our mind. This is what animates our body. When our heart starts to flutter, what do we say about it? We usually react in a space of fear because we don't understand it. Start understanding it. It's not about them, it's about you. I just can't sing until I calm this little thing. It says, no, you can't. Don't do it yet. You're not ready. But I am ready. I want to, but you're not. That inner civil war. Whew, calm with that breath and body. Like, just take a moment. That's what the time and alignment time is about. It's about understanding you, coming home to you, giving that little child within you space to relax, to understand what's happening when that body reacts, when that mind flutters, when that story starts to tell something that doesn't serve anyone. So there's a message in this, and the butterflies and the hummingbirds, and they're all very significant to me. But maybe I'll read it again and we'll see where it comes. You know, that it's all kind of in layers, right? In a spiral. That's how this is the adventure. This is the in the present moment experience. Like, I don't know what's going to come from this. This is the space I love to live. This is the space I love to play. This is the space I love to bounce back and forth. What do you think? Leave me a comment. Hopefully it's nice. If it's not, think about why. What's the story you're telling as you're witnessing this video? I hope it's love. I hope it serves. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that too. It's fun for me. And so it goes. Number 11, union. Gnats inside the wind. On union. There's a great feminine wisdom in these poems, a Jamal quality as opposed to Jalal. Mind, I'm sorry if I'm murdering these. I'm not perfect by any means. Many of the images of what it's like to be in union have this tone to them. A baby at a mother's breast, a river moving inside the personal fish, taking it to the ocean, gnats lost in the wind, a dead donkey that has completely melded with a salt flat, that the archery champion who lets the arrow fall where he stands. The archery, that one I need to sit with. Hold on. That's what usually happens when I'm like stumbling. I'm like, no, just take a moment. Take a moment with those words and savor them. Truly, try it. The archery, feel the archery. The archery champion, that takes on a whole nother energy. Feel that. The archery champion, present moment. The archery champion, what? The archery champion who lets the arrow fall. The archery champion who lets the arrow fall. He's a champion, right? He lets the arrow fall where he stands. What's significant about that right now? These are not heroic questing. Here's the point. These are not heroic questing images. True. A baby at a mother's breast. Heroic questing? Does a mother do that to be a heroic? No. She just does it because she wants to. That's sustaining life. A river moving inside the personal fish. That's good. A river moving, stream of consciousness, inside the personal fish. River moving in the fish, as a fish is moving in a river, right? Wow. Taking it to the ocean, right? That stream of awareness. One stream, one drop of water in the ocean. In the ocean, in one drop, all of the ocean. I love this. These are not heroic questing images. It's just life. What is it to praise? Be particles. What is it to praise? To be, what is it to praise? Like, praise what? It's all life. Yay. Yay, you did good. Yay, you did bad. Yay. Praise. Like, be particles. All right, what's next? During a night of tornadic wind and lightning everywhere. Whether in North Georgia, a friend murmured. Where do hummingbirds go to this? The next morning, the hummingbirds, the same ones, were back fussing at the feeder. They know a hiding trick that gnats don't. Oh, gnats in the wind. This is good. This is something that comes to me a lot. I think sometimes that poems can be the places to hide. I don't know this word. Apathistamamal robe closet stimulating the experience. Robe closets stimulating the experiences they celebrate. I gotta look up this word. Episthodamal robe closets. What's that? You know, in a world of AI, I could type it in and it could tell me, what does this mean? I could. Well, actually, it's giving me both here. So here we go. Helps me discern at deeper levels, right? It's not all bad. Let me see. Athstamamal robe closets. And it can tell me how to say it. I know how to do that later, but it doesn't matter. I will phonetically. Anyways. This is when the busy mind, it says, okay, Teresa, stop. You could go a million places with this right now. What's significant? What's relevant in this moment? I want to finish this thought. And so I'm going to be present with an aphthistomamus, which I don't know how to say it properly. And that is okay. Is a room at the rear of the classical Greek temple. Oh. The room at the rear of the classical Greek temple. The robe closets stimulating the experiences they... I love this. Oh, the very significant. Okay, so the room at the rear of the classical Greek temples. And if you know anything about that, sometimes used as a treasury or a room to store valuable items. Yes, at a physical, this is part of the stories that, we've been told, and we could see because we had found not exclusively for clothing, for a specific robe. Let's have to see what Rumi has to say about this type of space. This optimal robe closet, this space within the Greek temple that's stimulating the experiences they celebrate. Oftentimes I go back to that. When we're in a life when you can choose anything, any story you want to tell in that inner world, creating heaven on earth. It's not a place we have to die to go to. This is not our hell. It can be. We can hold that idea. We can create that as our external world. Or we can choose a different way. Every moment is a breath. Every moment is a choice. And so we choose the stories we tell. And from that space in that mind, right? That internal observer of this simulated story we are observing from that inner lens. All those fractals of light particles, right? So during a night of tornadic wind and lightning everywhere, weather, the emotional weather you are experiencing. In North Georgia, a friend murmured, "Where do hummingbirds go in this?" A thought I often think. When there's a tornado, there's not dead animals everywhere. If nature went through and did its thing, animals know where to go. There is an intuitive part of them. And yeah, maybe some do go, but life knows, nature knows how to regulate, how to thrive. It's been living here a lot longer than us humans. The next morning, the hummingbirds, the same ones that were back fussing at the feeder, they know a hiding trick that gnats don't. Gnats inside the wind, taken up in the thoughts. I think sometimes the poems can be places to hide. A room in the rear of the classical Greek temple. A closet stimulating the experiences they animate, he says, celebrate. What is the soul? Consciousness. So, my friends, thank you. Thank you for journeying in this morning with me in the alignment time. This is how it flows for me. And I called to share myself with you more authentically. And so this morning, I took you on that journey, and I am so grateful for this soul that animates this human body I call Teresa Priya. And so it is. And so I share, and you on the other side of this video, watching for whatever agenda and purpose and intention or inspiration, whatever brought you here in this moment to watch and witness what I organically shared and was guided to bring. Thank you. It's my gift to you as I live in the presence of who I am and embody in this authentic, loving, deeply so many things. It's just grateful. And the sweetness of this moment that I will try to take with me in every one I am in today. It's my prayer to do my best, to stay present, to be with my experiences, to allow them to unfold as they do. One breath. one exhale and experience one moment at a time. So much love and depth there. How I wish to share in spaces and places that have me there. And for when I don't, it's all okay. Because just like in death, as is in life, we are everywhere. That seed I plant in every space and place I am in, I am not. It is as it is. And so I feed that flame. Thank you. And many, many, many blessings to the adventure of being alive. Much love.